Well, hello and welcome to my fourth walk. We're in Tellaro, where we left you at the end of my second walk at this bar called Baraccone, which I'm a little ashamed to say, but when I looked at this bar's name initially, I didn't realise when you put bar and accone together, it's Baraccone, which means big shed, which I didn't realise at the time. Anyway, today's walk is a little notch up. It's going to be a longer walk. I'm going to walk from here to Bocca di Magra. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take me, probably maybe around 3 hours, a little bit more. So a little bit notch up because I'm carrying a little bit more water and a bit of food. I'm not going to be close to any villages along the way. So a little bit notch up, not only in terms of distance and time of walking, but also in terms of weight. So I've measured my pack. I've got about 9.5 kilos worth of kit with me, including the weight of this GoPro and my mobile phone. Carrying a little bit of extra water. Taking it a little notch up and see how we go. So the path goes along here, and this road, I'm told, is D.H. Lawrence Road, because the chap who wrote Lady Chatterley's Lover actually lived in Tellaro for a year. So I'm going to wander down this road and hopefully get the path to Bocca di Magra. So today is the 16th of October. I'm ashamed to say that it's been 4 days since my last walk, which is slightly poor, but kind of life gets in the way sometimes. But there you go. As I said, I'm not going to go down into Tellaro today. I'm going to wait and do the villages when it's poor weather and perhaps been raining for a few days over winter, and the path's a little bit too dangerous to actually do. Today is a Sunday, and Tellaro is rammed. It's full of people. But in classic Italian fashion, this bar is closed. It's closed on what is one of the busiest days of the week, because they all have a day's rest, the bars, and it's all a bit odd really, because yeah, you'd want to be open when there's loads of people, but you know, it's just the way it works in Italy. So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sundown is around 6:30. So I've got probably about 6 hours to do this. So no rush. Hopefully I'll get some decent video to show you. I want to talk to you briefly about some of the issues I've been having filming and also making video. First one is the settings. Now, I've played around quite a bit with this GoPro. And what I've done is put it on linear with horizon leveling, which seems to do some decent pictures. Other issues I've been having is I've been making quite long videos, and with my internet connection, loading it up is remarkably slow. So what I've done is contact the internet people and apply for faster internet, because it seems to be taking about 3 or 4 days to load up a 45-minute video, which is far too long. So I'm hoping that will improve, and I'm hoping we'll be able to get these videos up on YouTube at a much faster rate once the upload speed actually increases from 2-3 megabytes per second. I'm promised that it'll be up to around 20 megabytes per second, which is 6 or 7 times faster than my current upload speed, which is not been particularly good. All right for short videos, but not so good for really long ones. So today is a beautiful, beautiful October day. I'm still in t-shirt and shorts. It's hot. It's nearly sunbathing weather. Absolutely fantastic. And it's the 16th of October. And my mother reminded me, I was trying to forget about it, but my mother reminded me that I actually got married on the 16th of October about 11 years ago, 2011. It was actually on the other side of the Gulf. We'd already got married at the council in England, but she wanted to do the religious thing, and we ended up booking this very famous old church in Porto Venere, but we actually got thrown out before we managed to do the ritual. Quite exciting for me today, in that it's a path I wanted to do for years, never got around to it. I've walked nearly all of the paths on these hills behind me. I've done all the top route across the peaks, because normally what you want to do is get to the top of the hill, obviously. And I've done it from Bocca di Magra to La Serra, up Montemarcello, then down to a place called Foce di Linzano, then up to Montemurlo, then down to a pass called Zanago, which is an important place for crossroads for pass, then up to La Rocchetta and down to La Serra, and that took about 3.5 hours. I was a little bit fitter then, and I had good company at the time. Today, a little bit different, walking on my own. So today we're going from Tellaro to Bocca di Magra, and it means going uphill to this important pass called Zanago. But then this path stays low, it doesn't go up to the top of the hills, and goes around the coast to the other side of these hills, to a place called Bocca di Magra, which is a lovely place, and I hope to still have some battery when I get there to actually show you. I've looked at some videos about how to save battery on this GoPro, and it seems that if you reduce the screen brightness, if you turn off wireless connections and reduce the film rate from 30 frames per second to 24 frames per second, that seems to help. But also, one of the issues I've been having is turning it on and off, and what I've been doing is actually walking with it on, and then it sort of turns itself off. But I was had too long on the screensaver, so I've reduced the screensaver when I've got it on. But I've even found another setting, which is I think called quick film or something like that. What it means is that I can have it off, and then all I need to do is press record and it turns itself on, and then when I finish stop recording it turns itself off. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get a lot more life out of this battery. Done a bit of uphill, as you can tell, still ridiculously unfit, but there you go. Today I know I'm making the effort again, and it's just wonderful to do a new path. I love it. It goes all the way along the coastline. Absolutely spectacular views here all the way, and it's special. It's special that I know that once I've done this path, I've pretty much covered all the paths on these hills, and I love it. Tellaro was really busy because it's a Sunday, but it's only taken a little bit to get out of Tellaro. All right, a little bit of uphill, but out in nature, and there are quite a few walkers today, but I'm on my own, and it feels fantastic. You'll often find that the Kai actually puts some something for you to hold on to, especially if it's a very touristy path. It's not particularly dangerous here, but it is a little bit of a long way down if you were to fall off the path. But they do so much work to try and make it as safe as possible. Another thing I always carry with me is a waterproof cover for the rucksack. And you might say, well, it's a bit of an overkill, isn't it? You're in Italy, it's wonderfully hot. Yeah, but you never know. And I find that there's nothing worse than getting your pack wet and all the dry stuff you've got inside, including, of course, any electrical equipment that you might have, like my mobile phone, which would be a disaster if it got damp, because of course I've broken the screen, as I do with nearly all my mobile phones. So yeah, and also carry some pair of plastic bags, which always help, and it's good to have everything inside your pack in a plastic bag, just in case it does rain. Just past a lovely Italian couple who just walked down from Montemarcello, and they advised me that to get to Montemarcello was about an hour and a half from here, although uphill maybe take me longer. But I'm not actually going to Montemarcello. I'm going to pass by a little bit lower than Montemarcello and go down the lower path that goes around the coast, passes the path that goes down to Punta Corvo, which I'll tell you more about when I get there. And then round to another place where bathers go. It's called Punta Bianca, and there's a road near there which will then take me down to Bocca di Magra. One thing I love about walking is the people are really friendly. Unlike in cities, I lived in London for about 20 years, and everybody sort of ignores each other. But here, when you're out walking, everybody says hi. Everybody has a good word to say to each other, and there's a certain amount of mutual respect and mutual admiration for those that take the effort to be out and about and go walking in the woods. Just really friendly, and even if you don't speak the language, like I don't speak German, there's plenty of Germans walking in Italy, especially in the Alps and the Dolomites, and it's just so friendly, and everybody's got a bit of a story, and it's just so nice, and it's completely different to being in a city or in a big town. Been walking for about 40 minutes now. All right, I'm stopping regularly for filming. Another setting I've got is this sort of maximum anti-shake, which does wonders, because obviously walking and holding this pole is pretty shaky going down these things. This GoPro is quite amazing. It manages to take away a lot of the shakes. And I'm pretty impressed, really. Why would someone take the time to graffiti on a Kai sign for walkers in the middle of nowhere? Why would you do that? It just seems to be absolutely awful. They've done it to this one as well. What sort of human being does that kind of behaviour? All the way from the closest village is a good half an hour, 40-minute walk, and someone has taken either a spray paint or some big markers to put graffiti on places. Now here the land has fallen away. Looks like there's been a bit of a landslide here all the way down to the sea. People who haven't got too much experience walking might think these paths are pretty tricky. Not really. Not good if you're scared of heights, although I'm not particularly comfortable with heights. I've just perhaps got used to it over the years. Have to be careful, because there's often big drops on the side of the path, and really you do need a good pair of boots. It's vital, not only for your ankles, but for generally having good grip, and it makes such a huge difference. You've got a good pair of boots. My old boots that I had for years eventually fell apart, and I've got a new pair exactly the same, which are actually my father's boots, and he had to hang his boots up at 82, which gave him a bit of a depression, to be fair. I did temporarily have another pair of boots in between this one's and my previous good pair of boots, and I went for the slightly cheaper option, which was a big mistake. You know, I think they cost about 60-70 euros or something, which is not enough. And they fell apart pretty swiftly. Within a year, all the boots started falling apart. So yeah, you need to spend a decent amount of money on a pair of boots, and here in Italy, I suppose spending 120, 130 euros minimum on a decent pair of boots makes all the difference, really does. And the sole, I've always known as Vibram, is the best sole to have, and a lot of the better boots actually have these Vibram soles. More graffiti on a rock in the arse end of nowhere. Why someone would go through the trouble of doing that, I'm not sure. Anyway, still going uphill to Zanago, and I'll save my breath. Well, I got to this point, which seems to be just slightly different to the map. A sign behind me showing that Montemarcello and Punta Corvo is that way, so I'll be going that way because that's where I want to go. But I thought we had to go up to Zanago, and there's a sign behind me that says Montemarcello Zanago. Of course, the numbers I've got on my map are different to the numbers on the signs. Partly the same. One number's the same. There's a 4. So anyway, I'm going to be going this way towards Punta Corvo, which means perhaps I don't have to do further uphill to Zanago. I've been really feeling it coming up here. It's been about a 250-meter climb with nearly 10 kilos on my back, and I'll be fair, I'm a little bit knackered and still particularly unfit, but it's still lovely to be out in the woods and lovely to be doing this. So hopefully I'll manage and see if I can get some half-decent video to show you. Just past a lovely young Tuscan couple, and they advised me that indeed I am on the right path, which I'm thankful for, as I've just about got enough energy to get there. I've had a little bit of water. I try not to drink too much water walking uphill, but also I'm carrying 2 kilos of water today, so my pack will get slightly lighter as time goes on, which I'm thankful for, because I'm really feeling these this 10 kilos I've got on my back. There's a house here in the absolute arse end of nowhere. Whether there's a road behind, I don't think there is. So it's quite amazing that they've managed to build this all in stones. Looks brand new. The amazing CAI, the Club Italiano, are so amazing at looking after these paths, and you can see actually built this edge of the path all the way down here in wood, which they probably found scattered around the woods here. One thing that's very nice of walking in the woods, it's not so hot. It's a wonderfully sunny day today, and of course when it's really hot, it's that much more difficult to do walking. But here in the woods, it's quite nice and cool, and I feel like I might be getting my second breath back, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. When walking, I often come across ruins like these ones. It's amazing to think that people used to live here Not sure where they used to get their water from, but presumably a well, because there's certainly no rivers or streams anywhere near here. And as you can see, also the land is terraced, and once upon a time all these hills were actually looked after, and it was proper agriculture everywhere. Just past some more friendly Tuscans. I try not to film people because it makes them feel a bit uncomfortable, but yeah, going back to what I was saying before, all these hills are all terraced, or used to be terraced, mostly with dry stone walling, and they all used to be maintained and looked after, but it's such hard work. It's really steep land and very little water, so a lot of the agriculture around here is centered around olives, because olive trees obviously got very, very deep roots and can survive in quite arid conditions. Also vines have very deep roots. Just had a really stunning, beautiful blonde lady pass me with her man. Had a good chat. We're at another crossroads here. This one goes up to Zanago, and looks like I'm going to miss that and go towards Punta Corvo, which is the aim today, is to not go down to Punta Corvo, because that would be far too much of an effort, but stay high and then go round to Bocca di Magra. Another ruin in the middle of nowhere. Just past a big group of Tuscans, all very friendly, and it's great. Everybody chats, and also everybody wants to know, especially if you're going the opposite direction, how long it takes to get there. But of course, it entirely depends whether you're going uphill or downhill. It took me some time to do the uphill. Bit knackered, to be fair, but yeah, you say that, but when it's very steep and a bit rocky, going downhill can also take your time. You just have to be a bit careful not to slip. But anyway, beautiful day, and as it's a Sunday, loads of people out walking, especially because it's such a beautiful day. Another thing I really hate is litter. Why can't people just take their rubbish back home with them? Out in nature, why dirty it? You've made the effort to get here in beautiful nature, beautiful woods. Why dirty it? You know, just take your rubbish back home with you. Absolutely stunning place. We're just below a cliff. I've been to the top of this cliff many times, because there's another path that runs above where I am at the moment. So I'm doing the lower path, and there's a break in the woods here, and the view is absolutely spectacular. I've also learnt, having watched previous videos that I've done, that I need to do slower panning shots, otherwise people might feel a little bit seasick when they're watching my videos, which I do apologise for. I'm doing my best to try and keep the camera as steady as possible. You'll notice out here two big container ships, and La Spezia is a big container port, which oddly enough they built over a previous beach. They tell me that it used to be a beach, I think well before my time. But yeah, load of containers come into La Spezia, and it's a very important port, and that keeps the place pretty busy. And obviously when the port is full, they have to anchor out here and wait to be able to go in. So that's why there's these massive ships just out here. from the top of the cliff when you look down, and if you look over and try not to fall over the cliff, you can see a burnt out car somewhere. I'm looking for it, I can't see it, but someone either drove off or pushed a car off the cliff, and somewhere around here there's actually a burnt out car, which is slightly odd, but there you go. Not sure if you can see, but there's actually climbing attachments on this big rock. Obviously a place where people come and practice climbing. But I'm not climbing. I've never done climbing, and especially if you're a tubby chap like myself, climbing is probably not a good idea at my age. A little bit knackered. I've been walking for about an hour and a half, something like that, at the moment. I like to think I've done most of the uphill, probably cumulative uphill of around about 300-350 meters today, which is reasonable walk. And as a crow flies, this path is probably only about 7 kilometers, but it's not like walking on the road. We're just passing the main road that goes to Montemarcello behind me, which you maybe can see. Anyway, going on about what I was talking before about rubbish and graffiti and all that sort of stuff. In Italy here, there's a real culture of mountain culture, and a real culture of the Alpini, the Club Alpino Italiano, and just generally a culture about nature. And you pass many places where they actually say, make sure that you abide by the rules of the mountains. On the road, the path only just touches the road briefly here. As I said, I don't really like road too much. Just past that beautiful lady with a boyfriend again. Stunning, wearing all that tight-fitting black outfit, which was lovely to see in the middle of the woods. Anyway, going back to what I was saying before about abiding by the rules of the mountains. There's a couple of cars passing. Yeah, what are the rules of the mountains? Well, firstly, stay on the path, right? Because it's not just about safety. Oh, there's a noisy dog behind. I have to do this. I have to do this again in a bit. I always find that slightly irritating. You're out in wonderful walk, nice and quiet, go around a corner, and suddenly a really loud dog starts barking at you, because obviously dog being confined inside perhaps a small garden. And anyway, going back to the rules of nature, the rules of the hills. And here you'll see signposts and notices saying, please look after and abide, please look after nature and abide by the rules of the mountains. And firstly, it's stay on the path. Now, it's not just because of safety that you want to stay on the path. If you do ever slip and hurt yourself, or stay near the path, because even if you've got no reception on your phone, someone will pass by at some point, and then you can get rescued. But yeah, stay on the path. And there's not just for safety, it's because don't disturb nature too much, and that's really part of it. Because you do actually, it may not seem like it, because when you're out walking you don't actually pass too many people, but there is a huge amount of people that go walking, and a huge amount of people that use these paths. And if everybody just sticks to the path, then you disturb nature much less, and that's also part of it. Now, if you look just over here, and I mentioned on a previous video about wild boar digging up land, let me just show you this. Not sure you could see that particularly well, but all the land around here, and I can see it all over the place, has been dug up by wild boar. And they tell me that they like certain particular routes which they dig up. So yeah, going back to rules of the mountains: don't start fires, don't pick flowers. I know it seems yeah, but the more you disturb nature, the more that we have an impact. And of course, we already have such a huge impact on nature, so it's been very conscious about nature. Don't leave rubbish, don't do graffiti. Yeah, these things really irritate me. I just saw some more rubbish on the way. Why do people do that? I really don't get that. But yeah, again, more land on the side of the path being dug up by cinghiali, wild boar. You can see here as well, and here again dug up by wild boar, and you can see trees falling across the path, which I can get under that one, no problem at all. The thing about walking in the woods, of course, is that you only get the views when there's a break in the woods. So maybe I can show you some better views later on. But most of this walk is in the woods, and hope you enjoy it. Absolutely stunning view. Being a Sunday, many boats out on the sea. I do have my boat in Lerici, and I'd contemplated going out today, but hasn't had a walk for 4 days. I decided to do the walk instead. I've been walking, I'm not quite sure now, my mobile is in my backpack. I think probably coming on for about 2 hours now. which in terms of distance, I'm a little bit over halfway, although most of the uphill has actually been done now. I'm coming close to Montemarcello, or I'm not actually going to go up the top of the hill to Montemarcello because the path I want to do is a bit lower. Just past another couple that advised me that the junction for Montemarcello, sorry, for Bocca di Magra, is actually pretty close, and so I'm hoping to get to that point where there's turn down to Punta Corvo, which I'm not going to go down to, and then there's actual path for Bocca di Magra. Come to a point where I'm not quite sure where to go, so I need to have a little look. Found the path, or at least I hope so, and yes, I've been walking I think about 2 hours now, so probably something like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've got light till about 7 o'clock, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable about what I'm doing, and pack slightly getting lighter as I get through some of my water. I did bring sandwiches today because I knew I wasn't going to be passing anywhere to eat, but I think I'll leave that until I know it's only downhill, because I don't particularly like eating and then doing the uphill. So probably close to Punta Bianca is where I'll stop and have my sandwich that I brought, and a little bit of fruit that Mum very kindly packed up for me. Now this is the important junction I was hoping to get to. Now, I've been here before because I've been down to Punta Corvo a few times. I'm going to Bocca di Magra and Punta Bianca, which is signposted to the left here, and Punta Corvo is down here on the right. I've actually been here a number of times before, because Punta Corvo is a very famous beach around here. You can only get to it by foot or by boat from Bocca di Magra, and I'm not going to do it today, just haven't got it in me, but it's down here, and it's relatively gentle to come down from Montemarcello down to this point, but further down here it gets really steep and goes effectively straight down, and there's about 700 steps, and when it's the heat of August here, it's difficult for a number of reasons. One is that you're actually exposed to the sun once you get out of the woods further down, and you go down to a beach that has no trees, no shade, no bar, and the rocks, it's not really sand, it's like these grey rocks which kind of burn your feet, and in the summer here it's outrageously hot, and you sort of lie there and bake under the sun in 35-40 degree heat. So yeah, after lying for a few hours in the baking beach on these really hot rocks, you then have to walk back up, and of course you're dehydrated. Any water or drinks that you've taken down are very hot and really not very nice to drink, and then you have to walk back up, and it's 700 really steep steps to walk back up after being really quite dehydrated and being in the sun, and I find it difficult being in the sun, not like when I was younger. I find it sort of after 3 or 4 hours in the sun, I'm really struggling. Now in Punta Corvo there is a chap with a boat that comes and sort of rams the bow onto the beach and sells cold drinks and ice cream, which is very much valuable when you're away from things. I'm pretty close to Montemarcello now. I've done this track numerous times going down to Punta Corvo. Just passed another friendly Tuscan chap. Tells me that up here on the right is the path that will take me down to Punta Bianca and then Bocca di Magra. Quite happy. I know that where I am here is about the highest point for this walk, so I've done pretty much most of the uphill, and now it's downhill down to Punta Bianca and Bocca di Magra. Well, here we are at the junction. Not quite as what I expected. I expected to stay lower. I wasn't planning to come all the way up to Montemarcello, but I have done. So a little bit of extra uphill, but that's okay. Montemarcello, beautiful old medieval village, and I'll come and show you that on a different walk. So from here, I know it's all downhill, and I don't know how long it's going to take me. Maybe another hour or so to get to Bocca di Magra, maybe a bit longer, but I'm in no rush. I've got food and water. So here in Montemarcello, I know a couple of bars just back there, but I'm not stopping. I'll have a glass of wine when I get to Bocca di Magra. And I know this bars well because I've been to Punta Corvo many times, and when you do in the summer heat 700 steps straight up a hill, it's very welcome to have a bar as soon as you get up top. And this path is lovely up here, and still got loads of battery because I've changed the settings, and still got loads of battery, which is fantastic. And do a slight diversion to show you this amazing viewing point which there is down here, because I've been here many times and done many walks that pass by here, and absolutely amazing viewpoint which I'm going to show you, which is just down here, passing some lovely villas here at Montemarcello, and a wonderful expensive looking spa hotel which is just here on the right. And the view from up here is amazing. We are at the top of the hill, and when there's a break in the trees you can see all the way to the other side of the gulf, but you'll see better when I get you to the viewing point.
Oh, capita.
Back on the path, not exactly the path I wanted to do. I was hoping to do a path further down the hill, but I was worried that if I went down towards Punta Corvo, noisy plane just passing over the top. It looks like a four-seater small plane. Wait a second till it passes. Yeah, I was worried that if I started going downhill, I'd end up going down to Punta Corvo. And I just saw a sign back there saying this path is for expert hikers. Now, I've done a few paths that says expert hikers, and I just passed friendly Tuscan chap that told me that the path was fine. It wasn't a big deal. But just be aware that last time I did paths that actually was signposted like that was a little bit tricky and a little bit dangerous. And so when it does say it's for expert hikers, you can get some tricky bits, and I have scared myself a few times. And of course, it's always a little bit more scary if you're walking on your own. On a side note, just been bitten again. Was bitten straight when I got out of Tellaro. I've applied mosquito repellent a second time, but of course when you're walking through the woods, it's quite shaded, and mosquitoes love the shade, and they're going to come and bite you, and especially if you're stopping. And obviously I'm stopping to film, and when you're moving it's not quite so bad, because it's more difficult for them to bite you. But yeah, when you stop in these woods, I get mozzies. I hate mozzies, but there you go, at least I have got some mozzie repellent. Come to another junction. Again, I always ask when passing people, so I know that this is the right path. I've actually been here before, doing a different route, and of course these junctions are important places, and you always hope that you find them and not miss them and end up wasting energy going in the wrong direction, which of course I have done a few times. Starting to feel a little bit knackered now, starting to feel it, and I always find it slightly worrying when you're going to do a path that potentially tricky, because it's good to have strong legs, because if you've only got a little bit to put your foot on, otherwise it's adios amigos. It's always good to have strong legs when you're doing that. Last time I did a tricky path where there was a sign. In fact, to be honest, we didn't see the sign going. I'd managed to get my map reading wrong and took my Thai lady to on a rather tricky path, and we only saw the sign saying it was a difficult and tricky path when we came back. And yeah, when you do these tricky parts, you do need to have a head for heights, and it does help to be relatively fit, because you need strong leg muscles, and not good to be scared of heights. Just past a chap and his young son, looked about 10-11 years old, and asked him about this path and whether it's dangerous. He said no, it's no big deal. As they said, there's only a little bit where it's a bit narrow, but they've put a rope for you to hang on to. But I really didn't expect to get particularly tricky paths in Montemarcello, in this area. I've walked nearly all of the paths here, and it's the first time I've ever seen a sign in this area that it's for expert walkers. So no, it's fine, not a big deal. I've done some pretty tricky paths in my life, but usually I'm fitter with stronger leg muscles. But I don't expect there'll be any issues, and I'm in no rush, so I'll just take it easy and see how it goes. Absolutely shattered. Really knackered, but there's no turning back, because I'm certainly not going up the hill to Montemarcello. Again, I've done quite a bit of downhill, so I know we should be getting relatively close to Punta Bianca, which is further down here. I keep looking for a sunny spot where I can stop and have a break, because what I don't want to be is in the shade in these woods and be surrounded by mozzies. I have applied some more insect repellent. I haven't come across the tricky bit yet, although maybe I've passed it, not sure. Just seen this sign. Looks like this path may have been closed because of a landslide. Oh, calmati, yeah, calmati. Yeah. Suddenly a dog comes and starts barking at me. What a pain in the ass. Nothing like the peace and quiet of your life being disturbed by an angry dog. I hope his owners are going to come round the corner soon and get control of him. Well, after 3.5 hours of walking, I was in absolute bits. Legs like jelly, feeling really shattered. Just fancied a bit of a sit down for a sec. Probably because I hadn't actually eaten much all day, and I think used up a little bit of energy. But anyway, just when I was thinking that I was going to be struggling to carry on, lovely clearing appears with some seating, like picnic tables that are done for you. Fantastic. Managed to sit at a table and munch on the sandwich that I brought all this way, and a bit of fruit that I bought. Still got a little bit of water, a little bit of food left, but we're on the final stretch now. In terms of actual distance, there's probably still about 2 kilometers to go, but this is really easy now. I'm reliably informed that the road is not too far and it's pretty easy walking, so all that talk of tricky bits, well, it wasn't particularly tricky, it wasn't particularly difficult, so feeling a little bit better after a little bit of a rest. Treated myself to a change of t-shirt. I bought 2 spare t-shirts today, so I have got another one if I'm a sweaty mess when I arrive in Bocca di Magra, but should be all downhill now. It's kind of coming to mozzie time again, so I've applied more insect repellent, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but just important. Oh, it's just so lovely. Just stop. I didn't want to do any filming there because this lady had come there specifically to get away from people and just have a quiet read, so I thought it was a bit rude to start filming and start making some noise. I also filmed the signs of what sort of behaviour not to do in these woods. For example, camping. Camping is not really allowed in most places in Italy, although I have been camping up in the wild camping up in the Apuane mountains, and that seems to be acceptable in certain areas. But yeah, just try not, the idea is just try not to affect nature too much. Enjoy nature without dirtying, without affecting plants and wildlife too much. And I think we need to go back to having some decent respect for nature. We kind of abuse this planet, abuse the atmosphere, abuse the seas, overfish, over cultivate, all sorts of chemicals and stuff that we put in nature, and need to be a bit more conscious about what we're doing. Past a load of people in comfortable shoes and city dress, so obviously not too far to the road, and I know I'm on the final stretch. When I was feeling really knackered about half an hour ago, I'd contemplated maybe getting someone to come and give me a lift from when the road starts here, but I'm going to push through and get down. It's all downhill from here anyway. Get down to Bocca di Magra and hopefully have a decent beer, perhaps a glass of wine. So this is the crossroad to Punta Bianca, which is not really much of a beach, but it is a place where you can get into the water for having a swim. Not really been there much because, well, when I was younger I had a swimming pool in the condominium that we were in, and what's the point going for a swim where it's sort of difficult rocks to get in? But people do. People go and have get sun and go for a swim here in Punta Bianca. But at least having passed that point, I know exactly where I am on the map. So I'm expecting the road to appear fairly shortly, and then it's just a easy wander down to Bocca di Magra. These are the things when you go walking, because most of the time life is so busy, so you're rushing to here and there and driving. You don't have time to stop and really look at things and maybe look at some plants, look at some flowers, look at a lovely view. You know, things, we have such busy lives and getting away from things, but this is one of those things that I would never have seen unless I came here. It's a memorial plaque for 15 Italo-Americans that were executed and massacred in that place. There wasn't much light, but it looked like some kind of bunker or something, storage place or something, maybe a prison, wartime prison in the rocks there. But yeah, odd thing, isn't it? You know, he's hearing the news about wars around the world and that sort of stuff, and you forget that Italy was occupied by the Nazis for 2 years. Must have been so weird to have the Nazis walking around Lerici. My father tells me a bit about it. My father was very lucky because he was 13 in 1945, and they were sending people at 14 to the front. So my father was really lucky that he missed it. But yeah, just weird, you know, just weird how these things come back. Anyway, here there's a spectacular view, because now what I've done is walk round these hills, and we're coming down into the valley where you can see the Apuane Mountains, where I will do some more videos when I get a little bit fitter and walk up these big mountains. But there's also the marble quarries, and I'll show you just now. Absolutely amazing view, and all your tiredness and your achy legs seem to disappear when suddenly you go around the corner and see a fantastic view. So I got to the road, so I'm close, not far now. Don't have to do all the road down to Bocca di Magra. I believe there is a shortcut path that cuts out some of the corners for the road. Depending on how my legs feel, I'll tell you whether I do the road or the path. Legs a bit achy. I will have walked something like 4 hours today. Done perhaps about 400 meters of uphill, and good. I was really shattered at one point, and it's important to get shattered, because then you're making progress. And I know I'm developing my leg muscles again, to get stronger, so I can do perhaps more difficult and more tricky parts. So with this new way of doing things with this GoPro, absolutely amazing. I've still got more than 50% of the battery, and now that I've made a few videos, I know I can get about 45 minutes to an hour with of decent video if I don't waste it out of one of these batteries. In fact, now I've improved the settings, maybe more. I had contemplated getting another battery, and perhaps I will when I do longer trips, but you know, I just thought, I'll be honest, I don't think people want to see a sweaty fat bloke puffing on more than about 45 minutes an hour. I think it's probably long enough. Today is a little bit different because a lot of it was in the woods. Wasn't really the opportunity to film good views, but hopefully might get a few good views here. The light's starting to go, so I'm afraid I might not be able to get some great pictures but I still got a little bit of light. Mountains are amazing over here. They're the big mountains called the Apuane. They're like a little Dolomites, and they're just close by to us. I'm back on the path, which will cut out quite a bit of the road going down. Yeah, traffic irritates me, so I'm happy to get back off the path, as long as it's relatively easy, because my legs are somewhat tired and I'm quite a knackered bloke at this point, but happy, proud of myself that I've done it, proud of myself that I didn't give up and keep going, although to be fair, you can't really give up because there's no alternative but to keep going. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It's been quite a challenge. Not sure how my legs will feel tomorrow. I've done a little bit of stretching. I think tomorrow I'll need to have a rest day and do a little bit of stretching with my legs that certainly feel like they've done a bit of work today. I have done this particular path the opposite way, walking up from Bocca di Magra when I was doing the AVG, the Alta Via del Golfo, which goes all the way round. And I know that from Bocca di Magra to La Serra, when you're definitely a little bit fitter and go over the top of the three hills, it takes about 3.5 hours. And it's a great walk and all right to do in the summer, because nearly all of it is in the woods. And anyway, Bocca di Magra down here is a beautiful place. Unfortunately, the light is going, so I'm not sure how much I'll be able to film. And to be honest, I'm so knackered that I'll just find the closest bar and have a beer. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and looking forward to that beer. This one's a bit of an odd place. It's I believe a monastery. It says on the sign, house for spiritual encounters. Sounds a bit like a gangbang place to me, but they reliably tell me that it is actually religious, and it actually says monastery. So when I was younger, we took a wrong turn and we went through this gate behind me, and then it was all closed and behind us, and it was all quite embarrassing, and it was a little bit odd. It's a bit of an odd thing to go into a monastery. It's kind of a bit uncomfortable to start off with, but yeah, being locked inside was weird, but we managed to get out. It's just one of those interesting things. perhaps you can't see, but it's difficult to overemphasize. See, this is all land that's been dug up by the cinghiali, the wild boar. And you see, once the land is dug up and then a bit of rain comes along, it takes it all away. So creates a real problem of soil erosion in certain areas. So these paths do need to come actually be patched up pretty regularly. And see, another fallen tree, and plenty of fallen trees everywhere. So here we are in Bocca di Magra. A little bit shattered, but happy that I've made it, happy that I've made the effort, happy that I've done a new trail that I've never done before, so I can pretty much say with certainty that I've done nearly every single trail on these hills behind me. Bocca di Magra, you know, obviously quite touristy in the summer, but not as touristy as Lerici. I had contemplated putting the boat here, but it was ridiculously expensive. I managed to get a cheaper place for the boat in Lerici, and of course it's so nice just to walk out your house, walk down to the port in Lerici, and get on your boat, and that's just so much nice. You know, obviously the system is there. I'll explain all that perhaps in a completely different set of videos, but anyway, I'm in Bocca di Magra. As you can see, Casa behind me. This is a paid for beach, private beach, and obviously nothing here in the summer. I mean, in the winter there's out of season. There's also a restaurant and bar here normally, but many places obviously closed down for the winter season. It's a lot of work for a short period of time, and then everybody goes. It's a weird place to live, you know, because it's like someone switches on a light and then switches it off again. You know, it's all to do with the weather. So suddenly the weather goes bosh, gets hot, and then the beaches are around, everybody's here, and then suddenly the weather changes, typically in September, although September's still pretty good. You start getting to some storms towards the end of August and the start of September, and it still carries on a bit, and then suddenly it gets a little bit colder, and it's like a switch, boom, and everybody goes. Restaurant behind me, you can see it, and there's a bar as well, is one of the most famous restaurants of this area. It's called Ciccio. I've eaten there a few times. Slightly expensive, but remarkably good quality seafood. The bar is extremely expensive, so I won't be stopping there. I'll find a cheaper bar just round the corner. There's the Apuane Mountains here. I'd love to show you, but they're all covered in clouds at the moment, and light is starting to go, and perhaps Mum is calling to find out what I've been doing. was Mum calling me. She's come to pick me up. She's actually here already, so I'm going to meet her in front of Chicho's and find a cheaper bar for a drink. One of the reasons I hadn't done this trek before, because obviously when you're on your own, normally you kind of do a loop. Yeah, you park the car and then you've got to come back to the car, unless there's obvious transport. And even though it's not as a crow fly particularly far from Liguria to Bocca di Magra, it's a little bit of a pain for buses, and there certainly aren't any, it isn't a train. So yeah, one of the reasons I hadn't done it, and now I have, and I've got a lift back home. Well, here I am in Bocca di Magra with the beautiful Apuane mountains behind me, which will be the next challenge to go higher altitude. Although there's some there's shorter paths up there as well. It doesn't always mean having to walk for hours and hours. And they are rifugi, so you can walk up into those mountains and have a nice slap-up meal in the middle of nowhere at highest refugi I've been to. There's probably something like 1,600 meters, which is pretty good. Anyway, it took me about 4.5 hours with about 20-minute break to have a bit of a sandwich. I struggled a bit on the uphill, and then when I was knackered I struggled a bit on the downhill and had to be careful every step of the way. But I've done it, and I feel proud of myself that I've done it, and my legs feel like I've done a lot. And cheers from sunny Liguria. Maybe see you on the next walk.